The Nature of Leadership, an article or a chapter by Gary Uckel, story stick by Susan Erickson. Not only in the human world, but in the animal world, there's lots of leaders. Uckel talks about leaders. Leaders come in all forms, shapes, likes, dislikes. Some seem to be very successful. Some seem to be successful in not so good a way. So the big question is, what ingredients make an effective leader? In this chapter, Uckel discusses the evolution of methods to study leadership, as well as many different definitions of what a leader may be. So, can a leader be a leader and a follower at the same time? Turn and talk to a partner about this question. So, more food for thought. Is a leader's influence always positive? So, list one example of a positive influence that a leader had and one example of a negative influence that a leader had. A leader's interest. A leader's influence can also be emotionally based. An example is when a leader asks their followers to sacrifice their own interests for the sake of a higher cause. Leadership can be direct and indirect. In my lovely stick figure drawings above, which one is an example of direct leadership and which is an example of indirect leadership? Leadership versus management. Is it really one and the same thing? My take on this concept is managers deal with the daily nuts and bolts of any organization, while leaders are in charge of the big picture or the big ideas of an organization. Uckel's definition of leadership is the process of influencing others to understand and agree about what needs to be done and how to do it, in the process of facilitating individual and collective efforts to accomplish shared objectives. So, how do you evaluate a leader? It can either be done objectively or subjectively. So how do you think a college president is evaluated as the leader of a college? Think about this, pair up with somebody else, and then share your thoughts on this. My takeaway for this article is that there are many different ways to both define and evaluate leadership. Leaders in charge of developing a vision for their organization. And now we'll be doing an activity I do with my fifth graders called Keep It or Junk It. Select 2 important traits that you think a leader should possess. This presentation was created by an app called Explain Everything.